안녕하세요.
Bonjour! Hola!
Ohayo!
I'm Dina Ayu with student number 002.
I'm Aiswarya with student number 010.
I am Teja Arini with student number 011.
I'm Diodan Indra with student number 016.
I'm Anik with student number 018.
We are from A2 Groups!
As numerous children's books and short stories, Roald Dahl paved his way to becoming the greatest 20th century children's storyteller. There is also a reason behind his success, which is the style of his writing.
Roald Dahl's style of writing is prominently known for its twisted plot and open ending. Not only that, after discovering his work, the uniqueness and exciting plot have stimulated the authors to choose Roald Dahl's short story to analyze. Those short stories are Lamb to the Slaughter, The Landlady, and Skin.
Thus, based on the foregoing introduction, this report aims to analyze the story to find the similarities.
Roald Dahl was a recognized British poet, writer of children's books and short stories, and a decorated fighter pilot during World War II. He served in the Royal Air Force, or RAF, and gained popularity as a writer in the 1940s with books for both children and adults, and went on to become one of the best-selling authors in the entire world. Dahl has been recognized as one of the greatest storytellers for children of the 20th century. Dahl's children's books are renowned for their unsentimental, macabre, and frequently darkly comic mood, which often features villainous adults as the child characters' enemies.
Dahl's short stories are identified by their unexpected conclusion. His children's books have a warm, underlying message that promotes kindness. His work for children include Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Matilda, The Witches, and etc. Dahl also succeeded as a writer of macabre adult short stories, which frequently combine humor and innocence with unexpected plot twists, such as the 3 short stories that we want to analyze today.
This is a story of a married couple, Mary and Patrick Maloney. Being pregnant at that moment, Mary was always trying to get everything ready for her beloved husband. However, Patrick rejected all of Mary's offer since he wanted a divorce. Mary was shocked at that time until she suddenly killed her husband using a frozen leg of lamb. Mary didn't want to go to jail, of course. Therefore, she set up a crime scene when she discovered her husband died after going a grocery shop. Not only that, she also manipulated the police and the detectives until she made them eat the murder weapon. She warned them that Patrick would be angry if she didn't serve something for those who had been a good friend for her. The police think that the weapon is still there right on the premise, probably right under their very nose.
The story of The Landlady is about Billy Weaver who arrives in Bath after taking the train from London. He heads toward the Bell and Dragon, which is a pub he's been told he could spend the night at. On the way though, he notices a sign, bed and breakfast. He decides to ring the bell. It's immediately answered by an old lady who invites him to enter. As it's less than half what he was prepared to pay, Billy decides to stay. She tells him that he is the only guest as she takes him to his room. When he goes downstairs to sign the guest book, he notices that there are only 2 names in the entire book. As he struggles to remember why he's heard the names before, the landlady brings him a cup of tea. He asks if they left recently, and she replies that both of them are still in the house on the 4th floor. Billy is confused and tries to change the subject by commenting on a parrot in a cage, which he thought was alive but just realized is stuffed. He also noticed a curious pear almond taste in his tea, and he asks the landlady again, Haven't there been any other guests here except them in the last 2 or 3 years? She gives him a little smile as she replies, "No, my dear, only you."
This is a story about a former tattoo parlor owner named Roald. He spotted one of the Sutton's painting at an art gallery. It was the same tattoo that Roald asked Sutton to paint an image on his back, then tattooed over it 30 years ago when Sutton was in love with Roald's wife, Josie. People in the art gallery thought that Roald was crazy until he showed them the tattoo. Then there are 2 men who want to buy his tattooed skin. One over skin grafting surgery and money, other over to become a model and live in a luxury hotel at the Bristol Hotel in Kent. No one knows about the final decisions, only painting by Sutton of a woman's head that was nicely framed and heavily varnished and had been painted in a unique style appeared for sale in Buenos Aires. The narrator then says that he truly hopes that Roald is now comfortable and rich since there's no Bristol Hotel in Kent.
Roald Dahl's short story has an open ending. An open ending is when the author ends their story with a cliffhanger or a situation that opens the reader's mind to imagine and construct their ending. Just like in The Lamb to the Slaughter, we do not know the final ending, whether Mary Maloney goes to jail or not. And also, we do not know who's got blame for Patrick's Maloney murderer. In The Landlady, we cannot conclude the ending because we don't know whether Billy died because of the poison or not. And then, in Skin's short story, we do not know what happens with Drioli, wherever he may be at this moment. Or is there a plump, attractive girl to manicure the nails of his finger? Or is there a maid to bring his breakfast in the morning? We do not know about it.
Macabre endings are Dahl's favorite type of twisted endings in order to create dramatic irony, that a character is not aware of a future death or a satanic action. In order to create a striking ending, he constitutes a series of events that led to a death of someone or an unsettling event at the end, which surprises the reader at most since the reader observes a shuddering horror and black humor at the same time. In the short story Lamb to the Slaughter, the oddity is caused neither by Mary Maloney's being angry when she hears that her husband wants to get divorced or the feeling of revenge, but by the way in which she expresses it. Similarly, in the short story The Landlady, it is not surprising that the landlady is actually a murderer who kills young boys by poisoning and then stuffs them since she can be in a psychopathic mental state. While in the short story The Skin, the oddity is caused by the man with canary gloves.
Each of the stories written in the third-person point of view. The third-person point of view is when the narrator exists outside of the story's event and describe the actions of the characters by using their name or the third-person pronouns, he, she, or they.
These 3 short stories have almost the same story, which is about manipulation. In Lamb to the Slaughter, Mary Maloney manipulated the police and the detective about the chronological story of his husband's murder and also manipulated the police to eat the murder weapon. In The Landlady, Billy Weaver is being manipulated by the landlady of the boarding house with her kindness. While in Skin, Drioli was manipulated by the man with the canary gloves to sell his skin with the head of a woman tattoo and also promised him to give a luxurious life after that.
Each of the story has a characterization of the ideal protagonist. This can be found in how each story has one net protagonist character. In Landlady Slaughter, the police are too sympathetic and condescending towards Mary and do not suspect her of Patrick's murder at all. In The Landlady, the character Bailey was described as a young 7 years old man who is very innocent and swung by the kindness of the landlady. Ironically, this innocent admirable trait that lands him in a murderous landlady. While in The Skin, the character Jolie was described as the desperate guy who wants to escape from loneliness. This leads him to be easily manipulated by the man with canary gloves.
Each of the story has one psychopath character. In The Lamb to the Slaughter, the character Mary Maloney murdered her own husband with a frozen leg of lamb. And she also told the policeman to eat the murder weapon. In The Landlady, the personality of the landlady was described as good person. But we thought that there was something mysterious with the landlady. And turns out the landlady was a psychopath because she poisoned and stuffed her victim. Next, the man with the canary gloves in The Skin short story. He wanted to buy drearily tattooed skin. Wow, that's very scary.
Irony is a situation in which something which was intended to have a particular result has the opposite or very different result. In the short story Lamb to the Slaughter, the main symbol is lamb. Lamb is a symbol of gentleness in religion. However, in the story, lamb alters to be the murder weapon. Therefore, in the story, lamb was considered as a good sign as usual, whereas in the end, it becomes a bad sign that creates the situational irony. In the story The Landlady, we can present our conclusion after reading that whole story that Billy Weaver turned out to become one of the 3 victims of the landlady. It is indeed these stuffed dogs and parrots that serve as one of the strong clues of the ending of the story. While in the short story Skin, the fact that Sutin ended up becoming a famous artist was quite unexpected. So was the fact that it is implied Drearily is killed over the tattoo even though the people in the gallery had alternatives. This is also seen in the conflict. The reader would not expect a room of people to come up with such cruel ideas only to get a piece of art.
Based on the foregoing discussions, the conclusion can be drawn as follows. Each of the story has similarities. The first one from the genre, twisted, scary, and disgusting stories. From the ending, it has an open ending. From the point of view, it used the third-person perspective. From the characterizations, it has the ideal protagonist and the psychopathic character for each stories. And last but not least, Roald Dahl black humor to set up his adult stories.
Alrighty then.
That is all for today.
Thank you for watching.
I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a nice day!
And goodbye!